Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we're back. We are back for the last pay-per-view and, which is usually not the case, but this year it is, the last card of the year. This is it. UFC 2023 ends all with this. Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington and Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. This is a good way to end out the year. It was not what I predicted. If you watched my prediction video, I predicted it would be Chandler versus Conor McGregor, but instead we have two title fights, and it's much better in my eyes personally. But yes, we're gonna look at the very undeserving title shot of Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards. I don't know why there's no picture there, but oh well, we don't care about it. So yes, we're going to be looking at the first fight on the card, which is going to be, there we go. It's going to be Randy Brown versus Muslim Salikov. So, first fight on the card, I got to say, it's decent. But man, Randy Brown has really fallen off. He opened up the year in February being on the main card of a pay-per-view. Then again, I know historically 284 is just a bad card overall. But poorly put together card, but regardless, and now he's all the way as the first fight on a pay-per-view. Man, that's what losing to Jack Della Maddalena will get you. And I believe, yeah, he's only had one fight since, which was not very impressive, a win over Turman. But I think he'll be able to get the W over Muslim Salikov. Main reason is only just for the length. Muslim Salikov did struggle with someone who is longer than him in Nicholas Dalby. I believe Nicholas Dalby is longer. And he didn't really show like he was that proficient in striking, honestly. He is pretty solid as a grappler, but not great enough to handle anyone who has some decent takedown defense, which, as you can see, Randy Brown is above average. It's above 50% takedown defense. I think with his longer reach, he's going to be able to piece together Muslim Salikov, and I think he's going to win a decision. That's going to be my first pick for the night. Martin Buday versus Shamil Gaziev. I don't like this fight, to be perfectly honest with you. Martin Buday is someone who I think could be so much better, so much more dangerous, but he just is so low volume overall. Shamil is also very low volume, but Martin Buday, man, he does not throw a lot. He absolutely could have taken out Collier. He absolutely could have taken out Bretsky. He did. And I did say in my prediction video, I said Buday is going to be low volume against Parisian, but he actually poured it on him and he looked really good. And I was like, maybe he might be the Martin Buday that's going to come out here and just take him out. But as of now, I think he's going to lean towards his more boring aspects. He's a slight favorite. I like him better than Shamil Gaziev, the debuting fighter. Ignore the record. He's 11-1, I believe. He's 11-0. He's undefeated. I don't know. I think Martin Buday will take him out for a decision, but if it's a finish, I think it's not Buday. I think Buday is a lock in this fight no matter what. Andre Touchy-Feely versus Lucas Almeida. Normally, I would go with Lucas Almeida, but and believe it or not, I'm actually siding with the bookies. I thought like, oh man, I had a feeling that they were gonna make Lucas Almeida a favorite in this one. I thought I was gonna be a genius to be like, no, it's gonna be Andre Feely, but no, the bookies agree with me. Andre Feely, I think, is gonna win this fight. Lucas Almeida got horribly exposed by Pat Sabatini on the ground, and I just don't think he's as good a striker in Andre Feely. And if you're not that amazing a grappler, where I think Andre Feely has advantage for you there, why would I pick you? I think Andre Feely is very live for a submission, to be honest with you. I definitely think it's going to be a club and sub submission. He's going to take down Lucas Almeida. He's going to get him to ground. I think he'll sub him. That's simply it. That's all I got to say on that one. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Cody Durden. I just don't think Cody Durden's that good. I just don't think he's that good. He's winning, yeah, he is, but look at who he's winning against. The best person he beat was Jake Hadley, who's decent, but decision. He got a knockout over JP Buys, which is Tadego Ulanbekov is a really solid kickboxer. He's a really good fighter overall. He's got really good kicks, he's got really good striking, and I think he'll be able to keep him on the feet, and I think he'll be able to win a decision, to be honest with you. I also like him in submission. I do like that, actually. I think I like that more because he is more of a proficient submission guy. There is also a possibility for club and sub, but I don't think he's really knocking people down. He's more so taking them out on the feet and then getting down to the ground, submitting them, to be honest with you. I think he's going to take out Cody Durden, especially Cody Durden, who I believe, does he not struggle with... Yeah, he's got 3 losses by submission, so yeah. Nope, give me Ulanbekov by submission. Okay, ending the early prelims is going to be Alonzo Menafield versus Dustin Jacoby. I saw Dustin Jacoby, and my friend actually got a picture of him at the Nashville event. And I picked Dustin Jacoby to win that fight. A lot of people are picking Nchuku, but I think Dustin Jacoby, his striking, his counter-striking specifically, is too sleek. It's too sleek, and it's going to be too sleek for a slow-plodding Alonzo Menafield. The main thing with Alonzo Menafield, too, that pisses me off is he just makes such poor decisions. He will get guys in finishing positions, and he will just give them an out because he just has bad fight IQ. Dustin Jacoby has solid fight IQ, solid counters. I think Alonzo Menafield beats him in the power advantage, but I think Jacoby's going to take him out. I mean, and the thing is, too, we've only seen Alonzo Menafield in the last 2 fights against Jimmy Crute, who's kind of a bum, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. He was a touted prospect, but he's a little bit of a bum, and that's all we're going on for Menafield. And he went to a draw with him. I think Dustin Jacoby's got this. I want to see what the line is for Dustin Jacoby as well, too. He's got to be a favorite. Oh, he's a big favorite, minus 240. So, yep. Give me Dustin Jacoby by... Give me by knockout. Menafield got rocked a few times by Crute. What's to stop Jacoby from knocking him out? Yep, give me that. And on to the prelims. The prelims have 2 good fights, 2 bad fights. Casey O'Neill versus Ariani Lipsky is the bad fight. I am not a fan of either of these 2 fighters, but if I had to pick, I like Ariani Lipsky better, and I'm pretty sure Casey O'Neill is probably going to be the favorite. Yep, she is a big favorite, minus 210. I don't see it. Casey O'Neill, I don't think she's as good as people were touting her. When she first came in here, one of my buddies was saying, oh, bet the house on Casey O'Neill. Bet the house. And what did Jennifer Maia did? Jennifer Maia did regular Jennifer Maia things. Ariani Lipsky is also not that great, to be honest with you, but I think Ariani Lipsky's going to take it by decision. I think O'Neill's going to get exposed. We've seen a little bit more for Lipsky. I think she's just going to be the better fighter overall. I'm not buying into Casey O'Neill's grappling. It's good, but it's not, oh my god, this is the next big thing, like an Aaron Blanchfield in the flyweight division. So give me Ariani Lipsky by decision. Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. What is the odds for this? Y'all on Cody, aren't you? They on Cody. I'm not going to be on Cody. I will not be on No Chin Garbrandt. I'm going to go with Brian Kelleher, to be honest with you. Kelleher has some power to him. That boy cracks. He hits hard. Meanwhile, Cody no love Garbrandt. He's so sporadic in his performances. Let's look back to one of the greatest performances of all time. A lot of people like to try to do some revisionist history and say, oh, it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. Cruz had a lot of success. Cruz was shut down. Absolutely. This is the greatest fight of his career. He had 25 minutes of brilliance and never again except for the last second of the Sun Sao fight. I don't think Cody Garbrandt's got it. Cody Garbrandt, because that was in 2016. We're in 2023, about to be 2024, and look at his last fight against Trevin Jones. He was so gun-shy, reservative. He had some good wrestling. He had some really good takedowns when basically Trevin would go in there. He would duck under for a nice takedown. It's really good. But I think Kelleher's not going to be as hesitant. I don't think he's going to be hesitant or as scared as the old Cody Garbrandt. I think he's going to be able to knock him out. It's just going to take 2 shots on that chin. He's going down. We saw Kai France just obliterated his chin. We've seen TJ Pillashaw, CEO of EPO, just dominate Cody Garbrandt's chin. Pedro Munoz beat the shit out of him as well, too. I'm going to be going with Brian Kelleher by knockout, and I think this is a dog that's going to hit. Irene Aldana versus Kyle Rosa. I think Rosa's going to win this by decision. I think this is going to be a very, very standard fight for Aldana, where she is usually good at picking at distance, initially engaging in clinch, but Irene Aldana doesn't really do much, to be honest with you. She's coming off that crushing loss to Amanda Nunes, but she does have some sneaky knockouts, but again, the people she's knocked out was, I believe, Santos's wife and then Chasson. That was a really crazy up kick to the body, liver shot, but through that fight, she wasn't really showing much. Now I'm looking at it, actually, she had some knockouts, which is pretty surprising. Vieira knockout. She got beat up by Home in a grindy fight. Santos knockout, Chelsea knockout. You know, there's a possibility of Aldana going for a knockout, but it's just that Rosa's taking you to decision. She's a decision machine. I can't even remember her last fight that was not a decision. Oh my god. She has never had a finished or been finished in the UFC. Give me the over 2.5, which is probably no value, juice to all hell. But for the sake of me picking, it's going to be Irene Aldana by decision. But no matter what, over 2.5, that's just free money. It's free money, honestly. But yes, let's look at the next fight, which is a good fight. It's a short notice one, hence why I won't let me click on it. But it's going to be Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. I like this fight. I like the original better. I like Giga versus Emmett. But I like Emmett versus Mitchell, and I know a lot of people are leaning towards the Mitchell side. I think you're fools. You're buying into a fraud. I knew Mitchell was not as amazing as they all made him out to be, because I saw Topuria beat that man from break to bell, and Josh Emmett is just a worse version of Topuria. He doesn't have the submission ability that Topuria has, but I think he's going to have the wrestling takedown defense that Topuria has. Let's look at his takedown defense. 47%, not the greatest, but I think it'll be enough to stuff Bryce Mitchell with his 33% takedown defense. But yes, takedown accuracy is not that good for Bryce Mitchell. He shoots a lot. He really gets it to the ground a lot in unconventional ways rather than takedowns. I don't think he's going to be able to take down Emmett. His jiu-jitsu is really good, but his striking is piss poor. It's not all that. We saw Ilia Topuria expose that, and Josh Emmett is a power puncher with a lifelong lineage of wrestling. I think Josh Emmett's going to keep on the feet and crack Bryce Mitchell. I think he'll go to a decision. I'm going to lean towards decision, but I think Josh Emmett's going to take out that weirdo Bryce Mitchell. And I'm not a Bryce Mitchell fan. I'm really not. I'm not a big Josh Emmett fan, to be honest with you. But I think Emmett's going to be the better fighter in this scenario. And then we're going to be going on to the main card, which I will have graphics for every fight on the main card because it's a good one. There are some good fights now. Every fight here, I think, is a solid banger. First, going to be a welterweight showdown between Vicente Luque and Ian Gary. Vicente Luque is going to be 32 years of age, 22 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw, 11 knockouts, 8 submissions, 5'11" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 75.5-inch reach advantage, a 1.04 takedown average, a 56.04 significant strike accuracy, plus 300 underdog. Significant wins over RDA, Michael Chiesa, Tyron Woodley, and Randy Brown. Then, standing across from him is Ian Future Gary. He's going to be 26 years old. Oh my God, he's younger than me. He's going to be 26 years old. He has 13 wins, no losses, 7 knockouts, 1 submission, 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 74.5-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.67 takedown average, a 58.78% significant strike accuracy, minus 400 favorite. Oh, God. Significant wins over Neil Magny, D-Rod, Song Kinnan, and Gabe Green. Okay. A lot of people are hating on Ian Gary and praying for the downfall of him against Vicente Luque. I like Ian Gary. I don't give a damn about what he's going on with his wife, or he's being cucked, or he's being groomed. I don't give a damn. I don't care about their personal lives. I care about their fight mentality, how they are as fighters, and how they fight. The only thing that pissed me off about the Gary Magny fight was that Ian Gary just didn't want to finish him. It was like Walker and Smith, where he absolutely could have, but he just seemed like he just wanted to get the extra shots in on the guy. Contrary to what he says, he absolutely could have finished Neil Magny. And if he says otherwise, if he says that, oh no, I wanted to do this, it's just poor fight IQ then. Vicente Luque is a very exciting fighter. He's a good guy and he's really exciting, but I just don't trust him anymore after his last 2 performances. Now you're probably going to be saying, what do you mean, Gomi, with his last 2 performances? He won his last one, which was against RDA. Yeah, it was horrible. That was a different type of Vicente Luque. He was just shooting for takedowns. He wasn't fighting to win and destroy his enemy like he normally does. He was fighting to not get hit in the head, which he even said himself. Yes, it's a smart game plan that won him the fight, but I think Ian Gary is way younger than RDA. He's going to stuff those takedowns, and he's going to hammer him. He's going to hammer him with high kicks, solid, accurate combos. Vicente Luque could have some combos. And I know a lot of people like to kind of like crap on Ian Gary for the Song Kinnan fight where he got dropped by Song Kinnan, but what happened almost immediately after? He knocked him out pretty brutally. Did y'all forget that? Ian Gary is a very solid fighter, very talented. I do think his grappling defense is very good. We saw against Neil Magny, who's a far better grappler than Vicente Luque has shown in his last fight. Vicente Luque had 8 takedowns in his RDA fight. I don't think he had 8 takedowns in his entire career up to that point. Ian Gary has a 69% takedown defense. He's going to be able to stuff Luque's takedowns. Luque, if he comes out balls to walls like he used to, he definitely has a chance to win. I think the line's probably too high at minus 400, but I think Gary's going to win. I think Gary's going to knock him out. You don't come back from brain bleed. Internal brain bleed he suffered from Jeff Neal. And the thing is, too, that Vicente Luque has always had a problem with, and I've said this throughout his entire damn career, move your frickin' head. Move your frickin' head. I don't know why I tried to turn Irish, but we saw that. Jeff Neal just pelted 9 consecutive uppercuts, none of which he dodged. 9 consecutive uppercuts. That's why he got knocked out. And I think Ian Gary can do much worse. Less damage, less power, but just as much damage with how accurate it is. Give me Ian Gary by knockout. Give me Ian Gary by knockout. This next fight's sad. Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett, lightweight matchup. Tony's going to be 39 years of age, 26 wins, 9 losses, 6 of those consecutively. 13 knockouts, 8 submissions, 5'11" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 76.5-inch reach, advantage, a 0.42 takedown average, 47.96% significant strike accuracy, plus 290 underdog. Significant wins over Cowboy Cerrone, Anthony Pettis, Kevin Lee, and RDA. Good wins that have all aged poorly because none of these, all of these guys currently right now that I just listed off, none of them have a win. The Cowboy got a win. No, he fought Jim Miller. He doesn't have a win. He fought Jim Miller, didn't he? That was a 276. I saw a lot. Yep. I should remember that. 276 was such a legendary card looking back. You had 4 middleweight champions on that card. Yeah. And then a future bantamweight champion. And then you had the ending to the rivalry of Volkanovski and Holloway. That was such a good card. But yes, Standing across from his Paddy Pimblett, 28 years of age, also very young. 20 wins, 3 losses, 6 knockouts, 9 submissions, 5'11 in terms of height, orthodox stance, 73-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.97 takedown average, a 53.27% significant strike accuracy, a minus 385 favorite, with significant wins over Jordan Levitt and Luigi Vandermeini. I'm not putting Jared Gordon on there because even though I made a good bit of money off that fight, that fight was a robbery. I'd like to mention, when Paddy lost the first round, he was like a plus. He was plus money. He was a plus money heavy underdog. I put $30 on him as a live bet because I sat there and I'm like, either he's going to make a comeback or he's going to get a robbery. And you bet I was a happy camper that day. So as a guy who made money on Paddy Pimblett from that fight, I could say he lost that fight. Regardless, he's not losing to Tony Ferguson. Tony, yeah, Paddy is very sloppy striking, but and very awful striking defense, but Tony's just too withered. The fact that he lost in that fashion to Bobby Green, like, I get it, Bobby Green's decent, but we just saw him get flatline KO'd, so just how decent is he? You look at Tony Ferguson's last wins, Cowboy Cerrone is his last win. Cowboy is not a good last win. And then before that was Anthony Pettis. You know what that fight was? That was the co-main event to Khabib versus Conor. That was 5 years ago. Tony hasn't won in 4 years. Tony is on the second longest losing streak. Second or third. He's behind Sam Alvey and I think BJ Penn. This is it. I'm surprised they didn't cut him from the Green fight, but they just want to build Paddy. They want to build Paddy up off his name, and it's so bad. Tony, he's slow in the striking. His grappling and snap jitsu is not as elite as it once was. The only thing he's got going for him is cardio, but he's not an unkillable zombie. You could drop him and you could submit him. Guess what Paddy Pimblett's more than likely gonna do? He's gonna go out there, throw some wild winging shots, drop him, submit him. There is a chance that Tony wins against Paddy, mainly because Paddy's coming off a really big injury. He was out for a whole year, more than a year. This is his comeback fight, so he's probably going to be slow and ruggish. I think this is going to be a bad fight. I think it's going to be an awful fight, but I think Paddy Pimblett by submission is probably your best bet. I could also see a decision, but I just don't see a way Tony gets out of this, and it sucks. It really sucks, dude, because I was such a huge fan of Tony Ferguson, and a lot of people are. I still am, but all hope I had for Tony Ferguson's career died when I sat there in the audience at 274 and I watched that man get murdered. I watched him drop. I need to paint this picture for you. Chandler, high kick, audience, they're going at it. They're insane. And we're all cheering. Chandler's doing backflips and we're all going, one more. But then you stop and you look at Tony and you have 2 ringside physicians. Another one comes in. Another. They flip him over. He's not moving. And my friend next to me can win. Oh shit, Tony's dead. He's dead. Yeah. El Kukui died that day. He didn't die against Gaethje. He didn't die against Charles. He didn't die against Beneil. That's what truly and utterly killed El Kukui. He was straight up freaking dead on the canvas. Chandler did 4 backflips over his corpse. Paddy Pimblett's gonna win this fight, and it hurts to say. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Wonderboy Thompson. It's gonna be a welterweight matchup between Shavkat Rakhmonov and Wonderboy Thompson. Shavkat's gonna be 29 years of age. Jesus Christ, he's young. 17-0. 8 knockouts, 9 submissions. You know what that is? That's a perfect finish record. Almost perfectly balanced, as all things should be, Thanos would say. 6'1" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 77-inch reach advantage, a 1.49 takedown average, a 68.41% significant strike accuracy, minus 600. Why would you even bet on this fight? Significant wins over Jeff Neal Magny. Excusez-moi. Yep, Neil Magny. I'm stupid. I forgot about that fight. That fight was dang more than a year ago. Jesus. And Cowboy Oliveira. Okay. Wonder Boy. 40 years old. Yes, he will still always be Wonder Boy. He's never getting promoted to Wonder Man. And that's not a dig, that's not respect. 17 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw. 8 knockouts, 1 submission. 6-0 in terms of height. Orthodox stance. 75-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.27 takedown average, a 49.49% significant strike accuracy, perfectly balanced as all things should be, a plus 425 underdog with significant wins over Kevin Holland, Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, and Jorge Masvidal. I'm really embarrassed about the Neil Magny one. I literally made this graphic and I was the only one, and I forgot about what I put in. Why did I do that? Okay, regardless, this is putting out an old dog to pasture to build up a name for Shavkat. I love Wonder Boy. I know. I root against... I kind of root against him, and I picked against him when he fought against Kevin Holland, and that blew up in my face. But it's not going to with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov is the future. As you guys should know by now, Leon Edwards is one of my favorite fighters. If I had to pick someone to beat... Like, I have... Like, my favorite fighters, there are people I would be okay if they got beat. Like, for example, Dustin Poirier. I was fine they got beat to Justin Gaethje. I was fine with that because Justin Gaethje is one of my favorites too. Izzy, if he got beat by Dricus, I'd be okay with that. Izzy, when he got beat by Jan, I was okay with that. Leon, if he gets beat by Shavkat, I'm okay with that. I'd rather not lose to Colby, but I'm down with Shavkat being the welterweight champion. And Shavkat is a beast. He is the most exciting fighter. He is a monster. This man is absolutely allergic and refuses to even touch. He refuses to even touch a decision. We saw in his fight against Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal came in heavier. He was bigger. Shavkat could not take him down. And Jeff Neal hit hard, had good power, and Shavkat still doesn't move his head, which is going to be something I'll bring up later. But he still got the finish. A standing rear naked choke. Shavkat is a monster. He is amazing striking and also grappling. He is not... You still see the Manov and you're like, oh, he's a boring grappler. He has never had a boring grappling fight. He is a striker through and through. And he will grapple only if he wants to murder you. That rhymed. But Wonder Boy's still such a dangerous kickboxer. Even this age, he was able to out-kickbox Kevin Holland. He damaged him, beat him, battered him. His fight against Vicente Luque, all action. That was prime Luque, all action, all power, striking. He just took him out. Took out Masvidal, took out Neal as well too. Broke his leg in the Neal fight. Just stood there for the 5th round. Just stood and traded with Neal. Wonder Boy is a certified dog. It's just that his grappling is not as good. Believe it or not, he used to, in the back of the day, he used to have impeccable grappling defense. He was one of the best anti-grapplers along with like Jose Aldo as among strikers. But it just waned. Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns are 2 guys who really just took him down and just beat him by decision. But I don't see Shavkat doing that. I see Shavkat, if he takes him to the ground, he's going to beat him up and knock him out. I'm really going to lean towards knockout, not just because I want it to be perfectly balanced, but Wonder Boy is a very hard guy to still submit because even his age against guys like Bilal Muhammad and Burns who had him on the ground, neither guy still submitted him. Nope, he was never submitted. He was knocked out by Anthony Pettis and that's it. So never mind. I definitely don't see Shavkat submitting him, to be perfectly honest with you. But I could see him knocking him out. That age, that chin is withered. He had a war against Kevin Holland. He won, but it's not going to be the same. The only avenue I will say for Wonder Boy is he can get a knockout. He will not win a decision, but I think he can get a knockout by just exploiting that Shavkat does not move his head. He showed a little bit more increased head movement in the Jeff Neal fight, but overall still, that is a weakness for Shavkat Rakhmonov. One that Wonder Boy, he can exploit. He can hit him with a really good head kick that just floors Shavkat Rakhmonov, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll be able to do it with the hands, but the legs, he can do it. So I'm going to go with Shavkat Rakhmonov by knockout, and I think he'll be a ground and pound TKO. Sad. Putting Wonder Boy out to golden pastures. And now for our first title bout. Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval 2. This is going to be for the flyweight title. And man, the flyweight division, it's pretty exciting, man. Now that we're done with the non-stop rematches of Figueiredo and Moreno, I think we're going to get some good fights. And this is the precursor of it. Pantoja is coming off, in my opinion, the fight of the year, which is his fight against Moreno. That was an amazing fight. And I think right now against Royval, Royval and him's first fight was also amazing. I think this is going to be an amazing fight as well, too. Alexandre Pantoja is going to be 33 years of age, 26 wins, 5 losses, 8 knockouts, 10 submissions. My God. My God. Forgot me fights he had. 5'5" in terms of height. My God, he's shorter than me. Orthodox, 67-inch reach disadvantage, a 1.75 takedown average, a 52.29% significant strike accuracy, a -175 favorite with significant wins over Brandon Moreno ×2, Alex Perez, Brandon Royval, the man fighting him, and Manel Kape. Brandon Royval is going to be 31 years of age, 15 wins, 6 losses, 4 knockouts, 9 submissions, 5'9" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 68-inch reach advantage, a 0.66 takedown average, a 46.22% significant strike accuracy, +145 underdog. Significant wins over Matheus Nicolau, Matt Schnell, Kai Kara-France, and Tim Elliott. Both guys have advanced. Alexandre Pantoja he's gotten a lot better since that fight, but so has Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval has actually not even been in the UFC as long as you would think. He's been in there for only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights. I thought Brandon Royval had been in here for a minute. He is not. So he's still greatly improving his skills, only 31 years of age. I guarantee you he learned a lot from that first loss against Alexandre Pantoja. Now then, he got submitted by him round 2. And Pantoja he's improved, but he's still ultimately at the end of the day fights very similar to how he was, which is just pure reckless abandonment. Such an exciting fighter. He just goes at you nonstop and he will either knock you out or submit you. Both guys really tend to favor club and subs. They like to knock their opponent down and then get them with a really nasty submission. Rear naked chokes are galore. They're both very good at that. I think I'm going to lean towards Royval to get this fight done and then set up a trilogy. I really think that's going to be the case because Pantoja took a lot of damage in his fight against Moreno, and he showed that his head movement and defense is still non-existent. Zero. While Royval, I've seen his striking got a lot better defensively. Both still offense, and they're just shredders. They're just cheese graters that are going to go at each other. But I think one's going to be able to move out the danger a little bit better. Maybe club and knock down Pantoja, and then just beat him up with the superior range. A slight range advantage. I don't see Pantoja getting finished, because one thing to mention about Alexandre Pantoja, he's still never been finished. 31 fights. And these are wars, because Pantoja fights like a madman. He's like a Charles Oliveira pit bull. Just goes at you with war after war after war after war after war after war. Because you look at his fight against Perez. No regard for defense. Took him out. No regard for defense in the Moreno fight. Even the Figueiredo fight. Where is that at? Figueiredo, one of the hardest hitters. This guy was cracking Rob Font and wobbling Rob Font. And Pantoja still came at him the whole time. I think Royval will piece him up this time. Maybe threaten some more submissions, but I think he'll piece him up. I think he'll have superior boxing. I think he's going to be able to beat Pantoja a decision. This is a little bit of a long shot. It's definitely a long shot. I don't know, man. I just got a feeling about this fight that we might see a trilogy, but ultimately, solid fight. My prediction for fight of the night by far, easily. And now for the main event of the evening. This is going to be a welterweight fight between Leon Edwards and Colby Covington for the welterweight title. This is going to be Leon Edwards' second title defense against Colby Covington, who just doesn't deserve this, man. let's just say he just doesn't. I don't care. I don't care. Leon Edwards is going to be 32 years of age, 21 wins, 3 losses, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions, 6'2" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 74-inch reach advantage, a 1.26 takedown average, a 59.59% significant strike accuracy. Once again, perfectly balanced as all things should be. A -150 favorite. Significant wins over Kamaru Usman ×2. Oh my god, that's a huge stat to have in your resume. By the way, RDA, Gunnar Nelson, Cowboy Cerrone, and Vicente Luque. Yes, I put 5 in there. Colby Covington is 35 years of age. Pay attention to that. 17 wins, 3 losses. 2 of those losses being to the same man that Leon Edwards beat twice, but 5 wins by submission. He is 5'11" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 72-inch reach, at disadvantage. What was I about to say? Advantage. A 4.05 takedown average, a 51.78% significant strike accuracy, plus 125 underdog. Significant wins over Jorge Masvidal, Tyron Woodley, Robbie Lawler, and RDA. I just gotta say, man. Colby Covington is one of the most inactive guys you'll ever meet. You're going to say, oh, but Leon Edwards is also very inactive. Well, Leon Edwards had like 18 canceled fights. Go ahead and look at it. He's supposed to fight Masvidal. He's supposed to fight Woodley. He's supposed to fight everyone and their mother. He's supposed to fight Khamzat Chimaev. Just nothing but canceled fights. You can't blame him entirely for that. Is he the most active? No. But at the end of the day, you look at 2023. How many fights did he have in 2023? 2. How many fights did other champions have? Jones, 1. Shevchenko and Grasso, 2. Makhachev, 2. Like, Izzy, 2. Strickland's would 1 champ. Whatever the case is, basically 2 fights, that's average. And Leon Edwards is on track for that, so that's fine. But one thing I want to mention is look at Colby Covington's activity. Colby Covington's last fight was in March of last year. So it's been well over a year, close to 2 years since his last fight. Beyond that, it had been another, basically, a long time. He fought against Usman in 2021. Beyond that, 2020. So it took him a whole year to fight Usman again. This guy's just so inactive. He's just so inactive. I really liked Colby Covington because, yes, he has a grindy style, but it's decent. Like, I enjoyed his fight against Maia. But fight mentality, I hate how inactive Colby Covington is. He just doesn't fight. He only sits out for title shots. This is his 3rd title shot in 5 fights. Why? His claim to fame is he did decent against Kamaru Usman. Like, of all the people that Kamaru Usman beat the shit out of, he really struggled with Colby Covington. That's his claim to fame. Well, guess what? Leon Edwards destroyed Kamaru Usman in the 3rd fight and knocked him out in the 2nd fight. Colby could never take down Kamaru Usman, though I do think that in the 2nd fight he should have been credited for a takedown. Leon Edwards took Kamaru Usman down and would have finished him if he wasn't hooking the gloves when he was trying to submit him. I'm sorry, but Colby Covington is too inactive for me. I think Leon Edwards as well, too, is a far better striker. Colby Covington is the better grappler, and he's got really good pace. But the thing is, Leon Edwards is so good at stuffing takedowns. He has 69% takedown defense, and he had Usman, who's just a better grappler, stronger grappler than Colby, while Colby has more volume. But the only way that Usman was able to get Edwards down was by strength. Colby's not going to have that strength. Edwards is massive, 6'2". He is massive. He is ripped. And he's a really good grappler himself. He took down Kamaru Usman. He took down Diaz. He took down plenty of guys. He's a great grappler. And he's an amazing striker. One of the most underrated strikers. Like, a lot of people talk about his striking, but not enough. Not enough. His striking is phenomenal. He sets up strikes so well. He's so good at kicking to the body, taking out your gas tank. A weapon that Usman used in the 1st fight against Colby Covington. That's how he's able to finish him in the 5th, by just destroying his gas tank, gassing him out with shots to the body, which I can see Edwards doing non-stop. I can see him doing that non-stop, but what I really think is a weapon is going to be the clinch. Colby Covington is not good in the clinch unless he can grasp around your body. Edwards is going to stuff a few takedowns because Colby doesn't land all his takedowns. He might land a few, but Edwards is going to stuff one. He's going to get him in a plum tie clinch. Jeez, I can't talk. He's going to get a plum tie clinch, and he's going to rain a few knees on him to the body or to the head, and those are really going to damage Colby Covington. I guarantee you. Everywhere I think Edwards is better other than grappling, pure grappling. I see no conceivable way Colby Covington wins this fight, which is why I think he's going to win the fight. Yeah. Because we've had too many crazy, wacky, last-minute surprise. Oh my God, Strickland should have never beaten Izzy. Tom Aspinall, there's no way he should have beaten Sergey Pavlovich in 2 punches. If he was going to win, it would have been by submission. There's just been so many crazy upsets this year that, I'm looking on paper, I'm like, Leon wins this everywhere. I just think he's not gonna. My official pick, cop-out pick, is going to be Leon Edwards by knockout. But know now, if Colby Covington wins by a freak knockout, I'll have called it. Round 3, just hits him with a stupid hook that just drops Edwards, like a stupid left hook, and I'm gonna be so mad. The main thing is I don't want Colby as champ, because you know what he's gonna do? He's not gonna fight any contenders. He's gonna call it Islam Makhachev. He's gonna call it Dustin Poirier. He's not. Leon Edwards, I know he's also talking about going up to a middleweight, which is pissing me off. But, at least maybe they can, drag him down to earth and make him fight Bilal Muhammad. Just fight him for the title, dude. But, well, regardless, Leon Edwards, I feel his striking is better, and I think his takedown defense is enough to handle the pressure of Colby Covington. A lot of people don't forget that Leon Edwards himself has amazing cardio. He went 5 rounds, basically 5 rounds against Usman twice. He went 5 rounds against Diaz. He went 3 rounds against Dos Anjos. He went 3 rounds against Nelson. He went 5 rounds against Cowboy. Don't worry. Edwards has good cardio. He'll be able to handle the pace and pressure of Colby Covington. And I think he'll be able to knock him out. Colby, and the thing is too, one last statistic. I believe anyone in the lower weight classes, so underneath welterweight, or underneath middleweight, who is 35 years of age, has not won a title. Volk as well too kind of proved this, because Volk turned 35 and he didn't win. We'll fully see if he's able to beat Topuria, but that's a statistic. Only people who have done it is one person who had 2 wins, and that's Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley was a monster back in the day. I really don't see chances for Colby winning this, which leads me to believe he might, but I don't know. Give me Leon Edwards to win this fight by knockout. And yeah, that's going to be it. That is the last card of the year. Don't worry, I will be back with my favorite cards of the year. I'll be back with my best fights of the year. I'll do end of the year stuff for the rest of the next couple weekends, just for stuff to do. But ultimately, I hope this is a good fight card to close out the night. It's a really solid fight night. It's a really solid pay-per-view. And I hope it's a really good one to end out the night. But yes, please let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.